Hello and welcome to another edition of A Lot of Help with James Lott Jr. I am James Lott Jr. and I am so excited to have this guest with me today. He is someone who, when you see his stuff online, I feel like his stuff just jumps off the page. I really do. His energy, his spirits, everything's just on the page. And people say that about me, I guess. I don't know, but I feel like I see it when I see it to someone else. I totally recognize it. So I'm telling you guys, he was just voted, or just put into the 2021 Power 100 list of the Commercial Observer. He's in Austin, Texas, one of my favorite cities. I love Austin. Stay. It's very musical and everything down there. And when I ask him about that too, kind of how that influences his work. And he's the founder and CEO of Rastegar Property Company, and he's actually was thriving during the pandemic. Some of us actually found our way. We're going to talk about that also. And he was in the news recently about something having to do with age. My friend Ari Rastegar. Hi, Ari. Look at that smile. Look at that smile.
Man. Great to see you. You make me blush with the intro. Mark Twain, who I love very much. I was an English major in undergrad. Used to, has a great quote that I love. He said, "Man is the only animal that blushes or needs to."
How funny is that? I can think about. I guess I would. You're right. Or needs to. That's the part of the phrase. Right? Or needs to.
That's the part, right? So what's going on, man?
Yes. But seriously, it's like we just kind of hit it off online, and
Absolutely.
because you leap off the page, and I think that's something that can't be taught. It can't be grown. I think it's who you are. I've noticed we're gonna get into this too. But I've noticed that you help other people, which that to me makes me very happy. You're about I always call it the village. You're about the village.
Absolutely.
You found a way to thrive during this very unusual time period in our history. You seem very nice and humble. I mean, I hope you are. Just kidding. No, you seem very nice and humble. You're a family man, but you also work really hard. And you seem like you have a great team around you. So I just want to tell you that all that comes through when I read about you and see.
Thank you for telling me that. That honestly means a lot to me that you say that, and I don't take that lightly. So I really appreciate that.
I want to ask you. So you're in this Power List 100. I know what it literally means. You're in a list of the powerful people, in the 100. But what does it mean to you in the big picture?
I'll tell you. So the Power 100, the Commercial Observer does, just for those that might not know what that is, because it's boring real estate stuff. But but I've actually followed this list for at least 13 or 14 years, and we wait for it to come out every year. And effectively what it is the 100 most powerful people in real estate in the world for that year. And I was inducted into the list this year, which was tremendously humbling and tremendously I don't know what the exact word is. You kind of have that moment where you're like, wow, I'm just a regular guy. Like, I grew up flipping burgers in high school and delivering pizzas in college. And, my dad was an Iranian immigrant. I'm a normal guy. I'm a father, as you said. And I'm a very hard worker. That one I won't hide. And anyone that knows me knows that I work at a level that I don't recommend. Quite frankly,
I'm kind of the same way, Ari.
Kind of, it's right.
In the industry are like,
I've actually never been on a vacation, ever, never in my career.
Wow. Oh,
Bill Gates is a great thing. I don't know if it's a great quote, but he said, "Look, I didn't take a day off in my 20s, not one, and and I didn't take a day off in my 20s or my 30s." And I'm 39 now, as of a couple months ago, and but the work is who I am. It's not what I do. And you mentioned something about this, this innate kind of thing of, kind of being that person of whatever that is. And I think there is an element, to that, no doubt. so when a guy like me that reads that Power 100 thing, I was more moved than my mom and my dad and like some of like family members read it and seeing their exuberance, because I was a little bit in shock, but during COVID, we did 16 major transactions during COVID when,
Yeah.
a lot of the other folks really didn't do any. And it was very surreal for me because I don't really look at accolades. My goal has always been just to create value. Like I wanted to create value, and my day job, we manage money, as you know, for public pension funds, family offices, and we've built a pretty big business, which you can see that by a simple search. But it's not because I'm some kind of money worshiper or somebody that just wanted to look, I wanted my kids to have a better life than me. My dad was an Iranian immigrant, came over here, and I hate to say we had nothing, when you're born in America, right? You're born in America, you have these things. So I don't think that's an appropriate thing. And I've heard people say, oh, he went from rags to riches. And look, we had a lot of love in our house. We had a lot of things. I was born in Austin, Texas, which has been a huge competitive advantage for us, being that Austin is just, completely on fire. And
Yes.
so there's a little element of luck that, kind of plays into that, which I'd be remiss to not say that. And there's, we know all the cliches of, the harder I work, the luckier I get, or, we know all those things.
Yes.
And but I am an extremely, extremely hard worker, but it comes from a place of contribution more than it does from, vanity or anything of those sorts. Look, do I like a nice fitting suit and a nice meal and a couple of things, but I don't wear, Rolexes or drive Ferraris and there's nothing wrong with any of that. If it's what you love, I mean, but I'm much more comfortable in my Rastegar hoodie and my Lululemon, kind of pants and, whatever. Right. But the Commercial Observer thing was a huge inflection point, and I realized it from the way that the markets treat us. I've still been doing the same thing that I've been doing now as a professional investor for 12 years, right? And so to me, it's kind of like, where were all you guys when we didn't have any money? We were trying to, it's like,
Exactly.
I was still doing
Exactly.
I was still doing whatever, but it was it was an unbelievable honor. And I'll be at the gala, later in September. And when I'm reading the names that are on this list, being the kind of nerd that I am of knowing, what all the people are working on, just because I'm curious and
Yeah.
I'm a big reader. And but it was you know, there's millions and millions of real estate operators that are out there. So to narrow it down to 100 was really special. And it meant a lot to my family, and it meant a lot to our team. And I took a lot of joy in seeing the happiness that it went there. But for me, you know, I don't play tennis in the sense of, I love Serena, I love me some Roger Federer. I'm not, but this is a team effort, and so it was the only part that was a little bit embarrassing for me is, they showcased me as the founder and CEO, which I am, but there's a lot of great people that help make that possible. All, from the maintenance folks, at the property management level that we own, all the way up to the analysts and the acquisitions team and the financing. I mean, there's so many people. This is team sports. And I was just so happy for the team because, it gave them a chance to see all the great work that we've done and the people that we've helped over the years. And it was interesting in Forbes, as you saw, did that article, calling me the Oracle of Austin, which
That's interesting.
I'm not entirely sure what
An
that
oracle is
meant.
big.
One
An
day I
oracle.
showed my wife, I was like, I'm an oracle, apparently. I was like, I'm not a magician, but I guess I'm an oracle. I don't, last I checked, like, I don't have a crystal ball or anything. I run the math, I do the math like everybody. And, the only thing guaranteed, I think, in life is, what do they say? Death and taxes, right? So so you do the best you can with what you have to work with. But I feel very fortunate to do what I do and help the people that we're able to help. And
I want to go back to something you said that I think it just represents you, and I think and it's something that I feel the same way. you're a worker. You're in the trenches. You're like,
Oh,
I'm just doing my thing
oh
every day.
yeah. Oh
So
yeah.
when you get something like this, it gets singled out. Like you said, I've been doing this for so long. I do this every day. All
This
the
is
time.
what I do.
Right.
You know,
Just-
and like I look at that Mamba mentality. You know, there's a book called Relentless that Tim Grover wrote that I highly suggest to any. You know, Tim is an interesting man. He was Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan's trainer. He also trained Dwayne Wade and Charles Barkley, but his main clients really were Kobe and Michael. And unbelievable book. He wrote a new book recently called Winning that's actually incredible as well for those that are looking to be super achievers. But one thing that I won't look, when you talk about being humble, as an example, humility and confidence aren't the same thing, right? You know, humility I've come to learn is not that you think, you know, any less of yourself. It's just thinking less about yourself. And really my biggest flaws, and my book comes out in August or early September called The Gift of Failure.
You have to come. I have a book show. You have to come on that show then.
I would love to do that. And I'll send you a copy when it comes out. But it's called The Gift of Failure, and I've failed more than most, you know. And but the one thing that has been ingrained in me is just this relentless work ethic of every day is a Monday, is what I tell folks all the time. I tell everybody every day's a Monday for me. Do I recommend? So people say, "Oh, work-life balance." I talk about it a little bit in the book, and if you're after greatness and whatever that means, whether you're a quantum physicist, whether you're running a charity, whether you're an athlete, whether you're a business person, whether you're doing a podcast, but if you're after that next level, like, and we know what I'm talking about, that next level of to be the best in the world at what you do, you got to fucking work. And there's no way around it. Like there's no way.
Shout it to the rooftop. Shout it.
No way around it. And by the way, you know, the first in the office, the last in the office, checking the biggest mistakes I made in my life early on was wanting to be right or having my ego tell me something. And now I just want the right answer. Like I don't care if it comes out of it's not about me. Like if we have the right answer, I'm happy. Like in meetings, like in our, you know, investment committee meetings and things like that, you know, and one of the folks figures out some flaw in the model, let's say, as we're discussing a deal. You know, I just kind of laugh and I'm just like, awesome. And some of the folks that have been at other firms were like, oh, well, that's awesome. I'm like, yeah. You figured out something that was wrong before we bought the fucking property. That's
right, right, exactly.
Like I thought but I thought you really wanted to buy it. I'm like, yeah, I did until you just told me a fact that I was missing. So thank you. Yes. And so it's almost like weird to see how awkward that is taken.
To other people,
you know, from other people. But I will say, you got to grind. And you know, and I'll just kind of relate to, you know, maybe some of the younger audience, but I'm a music fanatic. You know, everybody that knows me knows I'm a music freak, a book freak, and a word freak. And I love Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne is.
I like Lil Wayne too.
I grew up on Lil Wayne. You know, we're the same age actually, and you know, look, some people might argue over the content or this, that, and the other, but the man is a genius. I mean, his and it's his work ethic. Like I saw Drake talking about him the other day, and he said Wayne makes 3 classics a day. Yeah. Like, meaning, so he's in the studio 12, 15 hours a day since he was 11 years old. Right. And he's 39. Right. I mean, so like, and he created Drake, he created Nicki Minaj, he created these things. So it doesn't matter what modality that you look, but he has a line where he says, you're not grinding unless you're tired. It's so meaning when you're really working hard and you're grinding, you're not really grinding unless you're tired. And unless when you wake up in the morning, you're just like, oh my God, I can't get out of bed. I'm dead. That's the moment when you get out of bed and know you're really doing the hard work. Going to work 9 to 5 or whatever, don't give me that shit. Like everybody that is a contributing member of society, 9 to 5, that's the, that's not even the bare minimum. That's the, you're a human.
All right, I get the phone calls where I need this report really quick. It's a last minute thing, and it's midnight on Saturday. I mean, I get it. I know you need it,
and I know you'll do it. Knowing you do it.
I do it.
And by the way, but there's a point of saying, oh well, it's my
right.
Like that. I don't have any relation to that. I don't. We have nothing in common whatsoever. And, a lot of people don't know about me is that I had a really bad speech impediment growing up.
Oh, okay.
So, which actually turned into a great blessing, because now ever since, my wife jokes, she's like, once Ari learned how to talk, he didn't shut the fuck up. So, so cut me off at any moment. But I had a stutter and a lisp.
Okay.
And so I went to 7 years of speech therapy to learn how to talk. And so I look at it as I'm not that smart of a guy. I'm a normal guy. So if I can go build and go do the things that we've done sub 40 and, we're headed to well over $1 billion in assets, wholly owned, never had any VCs, none of that stuff, did it from grinding, like you can too. But you just can't escape that excruciating hard work and playing injured. I mean, like, injured, whether that's psychologically, whether that's emotion, whether it's in a sleep debt. And look, I believe in great health like you do too, and sleeping is very important.
Yeah.
I kind of fail at that because but I have a lot of passion about what I do. I've slept a lot better or later on in life and learned to prioritize it. It's very important what it does for your brain. There's a book called Why We Sleep that came out recently that's brilliant. And Ariana Huffington's book, The Sleep Revolution. But you gotta grind.
I'm so glad you're saying that.
You gotta grind. And every day I wake up like an intern. Every day I say to myself, this is day one of whatever job it is. Yes, I'm the founder and CEO. Yes, we have hundreds and hundreds of millions of assets going into the billion, but I work as if this is my first day at work and I have everything to prove.
Well, let me ask you a question, because there's a couple things you say that everything you're saying I agree with. One, is there really failure? I think no. I think there isn't failure. I think it's just things don't work out.
That's a beautiful question. I actually, let me think of how to answer that, because I love what you're saying and I want to respect that comment. Failure, as we define it culturally and sociologically, the answer is no. There is not. By how we as a mass generalize the concept of what we deem a failure does not exist. It's complete bullshit.
There you go.
But taking an L in a thing is, if we look at sports, is just such an easy way to come up with an analogy. There's only a couple guys that have never taken an L like Floyd Mayweather, right? I mean, Floyd, now 53 and 0 or whatever you want to call us, undefeated since he was 13 years old. That's an outlier. Okay. But again, if you look at his work ethic, he's at the gym at 3 a.m. He's up at 4 a.m, whatever. But if you look at a Kobe Bryant, I mean, at his best year, he averaged 41%. That means that he was missing basically 60% of his shots, missing the shots. So, so failure and success are inextricably are the same coin, and like you said, it's all about mindset. And so I was talking to someone about this the other day. It's what meaning you give to that situation. And that's what deems, are we going to go with the generalization of what a failure is? Or are we going to go with what it is to me, which is a gift, like it is to you? That's hence the name of my book. The gift of failure is find that thing. Success taught me nothing. If anything, it made me a little arrogant. But when you get kicked in the teeth, that soul crushing defeat, which all of us who have tried for greatness have felt, that just one where you're like, I can't get up.
Yes.
I quit. In your mind, like I quit. Like,
definitely.
I quit. There's no fucking way. I can't go back from it. And there's a couple times that I've I felt that. Did I get back up? You're fucking right. I got back up. But for a while, it took a spatula to kind of scrape me up, after being bulldozed. But, but no, there's not, because there's not, I should say it this way. Only if you have the courage to have introspection as to why you failed. And it takes a tremendous amount of courage. And I use that word because courage is not the absence of fear, because looking back when you mess up is a very difficult thing for all of us. Looking back and being like, oh no, I don't want to think about that again. Oh no, like it's easier just to kind of like move on and brush off the rug. And that's a good trait too, to be able to say, oh, I dropped the pass, or, I missed the shot, shoot again. That's great too. But Kobe and the greats went and watched film. Did they keep shooting in the game until it was the last minute? Absolutely. But they went back and watched the film and said, oh, that's what I did. Yeah, I missed the guard. Yeah, he blocked. I turned to the right. I should have gone to the left. I'm not going to do that again. So making the mistakes, and I tell my team this all the time, mistakes are great here. Just don't make the same mistake.
It's funny because when I first did my first radio show, which was 6 years ago, I'm actually celebrating it. Actually, today is my anniversary of my online network, my 1 year.
Is it really?
Actually, I just realized that about 10 minutes ago. Wait.
Congratulations.
About starting from scratch and becoming successful. I started this thing from scratch. One of the few people of color who has his own online network. So I did it from scratch. It's thanks. Thank you. I'm celebrating with you.
And you're really good at it too, or else I would. First of all, I wouldn't be here, with all due respect, if I didn't like what you did. I'm a fan too.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, I know. Your time is honored to me. Trust me. But you say something that, again, I want people to hear this, especially the younger folks, to hear this. And I hate to single them out, but I hear it all the time from my mentees. I'm just so tired today. I just want to go to the beach. I'm like, but why won't anything happen for me? Why is it not happening? Like, and it just when you said work hard, I'm like, I work hard.
I want to just
yeah, exactly.
Not hard. Not to hurt. Just it's a little tap, like a love tap, like a.
But Ari, they say to me, like, you're like an old person, James. You're talking like back in the day. I'm like, but I was raised with immigrant parents myself. I was raised with people who said hard work breeds success. I mean, it just that's what you do. But you said, like you said earlier, there's no other way around it.
There is no way around it. It's just, there is, and the analogy is right. Like when you start kindergarten, you don't just go to your senior year in high school.
Right.
I mean, are there some anomalies? And again, when we generalize, you have to eliminate the outliers, right? Are there some kids that are prodigies that go to Harvard at 14 years old?
Yeah.
Fine. I mean, Obama said it kind of funny, speaking of Lil Wayne or whatever, he said the other day, he goes, if some of you want to be rappers, not everybody can be Lil Wayne, not everybody, like, so the mere mortals like us,
yes,
there is levels to this shit. And there's steps, but that's the good part. The good part is success is a science. It's mathematical. Like, for example, when you go to college and you want to get a degree, they give you a syllabus and you say, okay, I have to take this many classes. I have to take 2 Englishes. I have to take 3 math, 2, blah, blah, blah. And then you get a college degree. It's pretty mechanical.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty mechanical, but you have to know where you're going. I want a degree in English, like I have. Okay, well, I looked at the beginning. It's going to take 4 years. Or let's say if I killed myself, which I did during summer school and took Maymesters and winter semesters and whatever, maybe 3 years. But I'm saying, like, you can't, like, there's a process. And so everybody wants to skip steps. And all that does is you might find that you get a modicum of success when you skip a couple of them. But I assure you, at one point, if you didn't build that foundation, when you fall, you're going to fall 8 levels down. Whereas if you did that work and you built those building blocks and you went to 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, and you had a tough time in 10th grade, they're not putting you back in 6th grade. Like, you might have to repeat 9th grade again, or, wherever you are.
but you're not dropping back down to kindergarten. Mentally, emotionally, physically, going to the gym. If you're in the gym every day and you're doing the stuff and you're going from, I want to bench press 300 pounds, and you just put 300 pounds on the bar. You start with wherever you are, you do the reps, you do the stuff. And let's say you don't go to the gym for 3 months. You're not back to where your first 100-pound was. You might have dropped a little bit, but you have muscle memory or neural memory, and but it's work. Like, it's work. It's just, there is, and if you're not willing to do that, and you don't understand that concept, cross-generational, whatever you want to say, you will never achieve anything of value. Anything. That means even, let's say, talk about raising children. Raising children, okay, is work.
Yes, it is.
But by the way, is it one of the most gratifying? Anything worth doing is fucking hard.
Mhm.
Fucking hard.
It is. You're right. It is.
Like, look, do I love my kids? Of course, they're my kids, they're my legacy. I love doing whatever. But are they a pain in the ass? Yes.
Yes.
They also are a pain in the ass. Do I have
Yeah.
to go to 1,000 things, take them this way, that way, and jump over and do, whatever, and get. But again, you cultivate this beautiful thing, because being a parent, is difficult. And like, you look at like single moms. Shout out to all the single moms.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
my God, hard work. Like, I take my job over being a single mother any day of the week. And my job's not exactly easy, but that's work.
That is work.
That is hard, 24/7, 7 days a week. Not to mention when they leave the house, they're still worrying, still nervous. Where are you? Check it up. I mean, like, God bless all the great parents, especially the single ones that are out there. But anything of value requires excruciatingly hard work. So you have two choices. Either you can suffer the pain of hard work and discipline, or the pain of regret. You pick.
No regret here. I don't know regrets. No,
you pick. It's going to be one or the other.
Right.
So you're going to look back on life and be like, oh, and then feel that flourish of pain. And we all know the folks that, that suffer from that pain of regret, that look back and would have done things differently.
They do.
And then, the folks that put in and grinded their asses. So you're going to suffer one way or another. So get used to it. Something's going to suck. So just embrace it, hug the suck, take it in and just make it your friend.
I love, but you said it way better than I do. I always tell my mentees, I'm like, there's always ups and downs. You can't avoid it. But I like hug the suck. That's now my new thing.
Hug the suck. Just get to know that guy, or lady, or whatever it is that sucks. Yeah. When you have but again, that's being said with, you have to have your goal though. Yeah. You have to, and you can just, by the way, or things can just suck. You can just go and work at, some whatever job that you hate, collect a paycheck, and that sucks. And you can embrace that suck too. Or you can, I was very fortunate that not only did I have great mentors, like I'm sure you are to your mentees. I'm actually writing a children's book right now with an 11-year-old boy in the UK.
I know you are. I was like, I love that. I love that.
So Paolo and I are working on that. And, and so I look at him as an 11-year-old boy and what he's accomplished and just his charisma and like the kind of kid he is. And boy, did he reach out to me. Like, you want to talk about relentless? That kid was relentless. And relentless. And finally, when I, reached back out to him, I was like, and Sabrina, his mom, I'm very good friends with. Because first of all, when I reached out, I was like, is your mom or dad around? I was like, I had this question or whatever. He's like, actually, yeah, my mom is here. I was like, I'd like to speak to your mother. It's this beautiful, kindest, just angel of a human being, right? She gets on. I was like, effective, like, I almost wanted to say, like, is your son insane? Like, he's called me, texted, hit me up on Instagram. He's like, what? Like, and she's like, no, this, that, the other. And they turn out to be the most beautiful fam. Just unbelievable people. And so he has a purpose, so either you can have the suck of not knowing what you want or what you're doing, but have no persistence, no goal, no nothing, or shit can just suck. Either way, it's going to be tough and it's going to be, but expecting it to be easy is the biggest mistake that I have made in some instances that others can make, is somehow expecting it to be easy. And a lot of folks are entitled. They feel like somehow it should be all handed to them on a silver platter. But what they miss about that is the gratification of achieving through hard work, of laying on the battlefield after that long day, victorious. And you cannot buy that feeling. It is irreplaceable.
You can't. I mean, you know, whenever I make a partnership, like with Michael's or with Westwood One or whatever, I earned it. I earned that partnership. It was not given to me. I sought them out. We worked it out together. They agreed. They liked my pitch. They agreed with me. And you're right. When you get that initial yes, let's go forward. I don't need to drink. I don't need anything. I mean, I'm happy. I'm so like.
By the way, drinking and all that stuff, whatever. But the chemical factory that's in your brain can make all those funny, great emotions. You know, you don't need anything on those external world. That you have the best pharmacy in your brain that you could ever imagine. Whatever you want to feel, from painkillers to, feelings of ecstasy to whatever you could think of, they're right here in your brain. All it takes is massive action towards a goal that has contribution and growth. If there's growth, there's contribution, and you're solving a problem. I told someone the other day, I think they posted it on my social media, but if you want a big business, because people ask me that all the time, how do I build a big business? And so I've had that question asked me so many times or whatever. People tell me I'm so young to have a business of this size. And, and I just kind of laugh that, like, this is God, you're such an overnight success. And, this is unbelievable. And I kind of just, you don't say anything, but in my mind, I'm like, yeah, okay. 20,000 hours of work later, give me a break. But long story short, you want a big business, solve a big problem for someone else.
Yeah. No,
solve a big problem. You want a big business, solve a big problem. Yeah. The bigger the problem that you can solve for more people, the bigger the business you'll have. It's that simple. Big business, big problem. Identify a big problem that touches a lot of people or a lot of things or a lot of utility. You'll have yourself a big business. End of story. It's really that simple.
And even to take it to another level, it's just that it's like finding that niche that needs to be filled.
Solve a problem.
I agree with you.
And then niche always is just another way of saying the same thing. You said find your niche or find and have purpose, because there's only so much, and this is psychology as well. We will do more for other people than we will do for ourselves.
True.
It's just a fact.
Yeah, it is.
So if you can find, or when you find the thing that is contributing, you're pulled towards it. So you get that extra little, gas tank, right? Like, so you have your gas tank that gets you to a certain place, but willpower is finite. It runs out. You can only work so hard in a selfish, narcissistic manner before you literally can't work anymore. But if you're pushing towards it, maybe that's for your family. Maybe that's for, I don't know what it is. Whatever your why is that's outside of you, backed with relentless hard work, meaning this is a science. Like, this is not, my opinion. Right. This is a formula. And if you follow the formula, you will find success. I don't know if that'll make you happy, because that's a different discussion, but you will have monetary or whatever accolade success that you have. Yeah. And there are two different discussions. Might be for another conversation, but finding fulfillment and contentment and happiness in your life is not having success. Those are two. They should not even be in the same fucking book. They're totally different issues.
I agree. I totally agree. I know so many people who are successful, but
Robin Williams, God rest his soul. one of the most successful actors, comedians. I mean, just beautiful human being that we all have a Robin Williams story of whatever movie, book, show, cross generations. For 50 years, he was making people laugh. You know, he won Academy Award for being a bad guy and a good guy. And I mean, like the guy was just successful beyond measure.
Yeah.
He hung himself.
I know.
He hung himself.
Wasn't happy.
So don't equate those two things. They're not the same thing. And by the way, there's people that are happier and fulfilled can be that don't have a dime.
That's not true. Yes.
Go to the middle of these tribal villages in any of the, you know, ancient countries, whether throughout Africa or South America or the Middle East or China, pick it, and you see people with the biggest smiles on their face. They don't have a pot to piss in.
Exactly.
They're not the same thing.
Exactly. I agree with you on that. I totally agree with that. And something else that you talked about a little earlier that I agree with also, you are as good as your team. To me, when you surround yourself with people who know what they're doing, it makes you know what it makes you look good. It makes your life run smoother.
You need, and I'll take it to another level. Let's take it one step further. Hire people smarter than you.
That's what I say. I say it all the time. I have no problem with that. Take the ego out of it. Take the ego out of it.
Hire people smarter than you. And I look around in our real estate business, in our private equity division, and we have several different divisions of the business, as you know, like whether it's property management, construction, technology. In the private equity sector of our business, we have 400 years of real estate experience combined. 400 years, meaning folks, 30 years, 30 years, 30 years, 20 years, 15 years, 18 years, whatever. Each one of them in their division knows more about their division than I will ever know.
Yeah.
But we're on the same team. The center shouldn't try to be the point guard. The point guard shouldn't try to be, it was like, you're on the same team. Like, that's not a threat. That's great. You know, Steve Jobs used to say, you know, we don't hire smart people to tell them what to do. We hire smart people to tell us what to do.
It's so true. It's also true. Linebacker, I'm a football fan, so linebackers have the offensive line has their job. The quarterback has his job. You know, everybody has their jobs. Everybody has their jobs.
Yeah. Yeah. You think Brady's winning all those Super Bowls if he didn't have a great offensive line?
Right. Right. It all works together.
No, and by the way, is he the quarterback? Is he the captain of the team and doing whatever? Sure. But he had one of the best offensive lines in history. Or you look at Emmitt Smith as an example, you know, when he was giving his Hall of Fame speech, and I know Emmitt, you know, he's a beautiful man, you know, very successful in real estate also, by the way. He was in our office 2 weeks ago. Yeah. And so when he was giving his Hall of Fame speech, and I grew up in Dallas, so being a Cowboys fan and whatever, he was just sobbing, crying, and he was thanking Moose Johnson. Because if Moose wasn't there to block for him, he wouldn't have broke the right. You know, and so it was just that moment of it's a team, you know, and that's, you know, and it's a team that's working for something beyond themselves, you know, so it's not a threat. And we have to get that, you know, get that mentality, just overcome that mentality. I'm as guilty of it as anybody. And I wish I could say that, you know, I knew the things that I'm telling you before. But you know,
you know them now. So it doesn't matter. You know, you are where you are at. You are
through failure,
right?
Through failure.
Yeah, but you're where you're supposed to be at any given time. I always say that, and you learn it.
That's right. It's a beautiful way to put it. It's a beautiful way to say it. You know, and Tony Robbins, you know, says something great that he said that I really love is that, you know, people would say, you know, why is this happening to me? Like life is happening to me. Like, this happened to me. I lost my job and whatever. He goes, well, what if life was happening for you?
See, I like that.
And that hit me. That hit different. I was like, oh, okay. Like I can get behind that. You know, I like that.
Ari, I could talk to you forever. I mean, this is the beginnings of a beautiful friendship.
Thank you so much for having me, and I hope we do this many more times. And come visit us in Austin.
I'm going to come to Austin. I want to see you when I come to Austin, and I want a Rastegar hoodie.
Oh, you got one. I'll tell you what, shoot us an email and shoot us sizes and we'll get you some hats and get you some of the stuff.
I'll wear it. I'll
Our
wear it.
shoe line with Adidas. The prototypes come out next week. So you'll see the Rastegar shoe line. You'll see the hoodies, see the hats. We got some fun stuff.
I'll wear them. I'll show them online. I'll wear them. I'll promote them.
You wear them. And by the way, and you know if I'm doing it, it's a comfy hoodie too.
I know. I'm gonna ask you one last question. Kind of just not a silly question, but kind of a question. What is one thing that makes Ari just laugh crazily? What is one thing just makes you bust up? Is there some kind of show or person or just
I'll tell you exactly what it is because I was laughing hysterically about it in a proud way, but still laughing. Is hearing my daughter Victoria rap Godzilla by Eminem and telling me that I need to find Eminem, that she wants to battle rap Eminem, and she's 8 years old. And I literally am just like, laugh. And by the way, she's unbelievably talented. I mean, she plays the piano. She's classically trained too. She plays the piano. She sings. I mean, you should hear her sing Adele or Alicia Keys or whatever. So she's very musical, but hearing her sing Godzilla, and I know a lot of parents might like.
Yeah, I know.
Kelly and I are okay with it. We don't, we love all music, all genres, and they listen to what we listen to. But Godzilla, is technically the fastest rap that's ever been recorded, whatever.
Yes,
and she listens to it, and and I've read her the lyrics over and over again, and she could do it pretty quickly. But to hear her afterwards be like, I want to, Daddy, I know you know Eminem, or you can I don't know. But I know someone that does, I'm sure. But
I'm sure.
Like, Daddy, I want you to tell Mr. Eminem that I want to battle him because I can rap faster than he can.
Hilarious.
I'm dying. I'm just like, and she'll tell me, she's like, "What are you laughing about?" She's dead serious, and I'm like, "No, I'm not laughing. That's great." She's like, "That's not funny." She's like, "It's not funny." And I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna call Eminem. And, Marshall, we don't know each other, but my 8-year-old daughter says she can smash you in a battle rap, and she's happy to tell you her exact words were, "I'm gonna kick his ass."
Oh my god. That would go viral. I would love that. That's hilarious. Ari, so Ari, tell folks where they can find you and your company online. And
look, I mean, you can find me pretty easily, as you know. I mean, you could just type in Rastegar into Google and find us, or on Instagram at Rastegar. Or if you want to find me, if the 11-year-old in Paolo in the UK can find me in every modality known to man, there's plenty out there they can find us. And if anybody's wanting to do stuff in Austin or do stuff throughout Texas, we have a pretty substantial kind of accredited high net worth book of investors. And although we focus on institutions, if there's anybody out there that we can help in any way, or whatever, in any way, shape, or form, if they want to read the book or they want to talk, they're down in Austin, reach out to us, and I'll be here, and you definitely come see us, and we'll definitely share a meal.
I know. I want to. I definitely want to. Your energy is infectious. Everyone, this is A Lot of Help with James Lott Jr. I've been doing this show for 3 years, and this particular show for 3 years. But I have over 35 shows on my online network, which I just realized is my 1-year anniversary. I started that in the pandemic. Thank you. Which, like he said, if you do hard work, you can try and achieve anything. And again, I'm a regular person in my 50s doing this. So if I can do it, you certainly can do it.
Keep doing it.
I'm trying.
Keep doing it.
Try to hold on. And we have over 35 shows, from Star Wars to soap operas to being left-handed, being a grandparent. Check us out on all social media platforms. We're on every single streaming service, and we're on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button down there somewhere. I think it's red and rectangular. Hit that subscribe button. It's JLJ Media. I'm the JLJ of JLJ Media. You can follow me where all James Lott Jr.'s are sold, at James Lott Jr. on all social media platforms and on TikTok too. So everyone, please take care of yourselves. Work hard.